Okay guys, what is going on? It's David here, and today I'm going to be starting a new series on game development. But it's going to be a bit different to our LWJGL ones, as I'm going to be doing a tutorial about making games using nothing but the default libraries in Java. And you may just turn off instantly thinking, we can't make good games with that, but you can. It's relatively easy, it can require a lot of work sometimes, and you just gotta build your own engine, really. So I'm ill, so do forgive me if I cough and don't sound right. We're gonna start by creating a new Java project. We'll call it I've already got one called tutorials for LWGL. I'll just call it Java Game Development. Right. So for this tutorial, I'm expecting you to know some relatively basic Java. You don't need to know a ton. I'm going to try and explain quite a bit in these tutorials. Oh, I named that one wrong. So yeah, currently I'm just setting up my packages. You can do this too. And we're going to start creating the main one. We're going to call it component.java. So we'll start by declaring the package up here and the class. Right, so the component is basically it's gonna be the thing that stores our window for the scene and all of the very base pixel data for the image. So sorry. This will extend canvas, and it's going to implement something called runnable. This will allow us to use threading to control our it. I press Control-Shift-O there to automatically import canvas, and I'm going to add the unimplemented method called run here. And what this run method wants to do is it's overriding from the runnable we've implemented, and we'll actually start putting stuff in here in a second. Right, so we're now going to set up our main method. Public static void main string arguments. Okay, so we're going to want to create a new instance of this component class so that we actually have a window. The thing to remember about this main method is it's got nothing to do with the class it's in. Because it's static, it's got nothing to do with it. So we need to declare a new instance of objects. We can't get them straight from outside. We're then the JFrame is going to be the actual window, and we're going to call this new JFrame. Give it a title. Should be Java Game Development. Capital D. Control-Shift-O. Manually import JFrame. Okay. Now we just basically need to do a couple of things to this. So we're going to do frame dot set oops, clicked the wrong one there. Dot set layout, and we're going to create a new border layout. We don't really need this, but for just efficiency's sake, again Control-Shift-O. I'm not going to say this again, but Control-Shift-O to manually import that automatically. And then we're going to add this component up here, which we're able to do because this class extends the canvas class, so we're able to add canvases to our window. We're then going to set resizable to false and frame.pack. Frame dot frame.pack basically puts all the stuff we've put in together. We're going to make the frame visible. We're going to make the frame exit when we click the X button, which we do by setting the default close operation to jframe.exit on close. And we're going to set the location relative to null. So we're not setting it relative to any other component on the screen, so we'll get it right in the center, or in the top left, I forget which. We're then going to call component.start. Excuse me. This is a method we haven't made yet, so let's do that. And we're also going to want to make a stop method. Okay, so now that we've kind of got that set up, when we run this, we should, if everything works, yep, we get like a pointlessly small window, which is stupid. So we need to create the constructor for this class now. So we're going to put public component like so, and we're going to want to put a couple of variables at the top here. So public final integer width going to be equal to, I don't know, what should we make this? 400. Public final int height equal to 300. Or maybe we can knock these down a notch. You may think this is going to be a really small window, but it won't be, because to make this bigger so that we get the pixely effect, we're going to put a scale on it. So we're going to put scale equal to 3. So what it's going to basically do, our actual screen will only have 200 by 150 pixels, but it's going to be 3 times that. So 3 pixels on 3 by 3 pixels on your screen right now will be 1 pixel in our screen. So we're then going to go into our constructor, and we're going to say, first we're going to, for the sake of making things easy, we're going to make a dimension. It's going to be equal to width times scale height times scale, and Control Shift O, import dimension. Yep. So we're going to do this dot set preferred size to D, this dot set maximum size to D, and this dot set minimum size to D, so that we're going to get a window of that size. Okay, we'll leave the rest of the constructor for now, but if we run this now, you'll see we're actually going to get a window that's the right size. If I turn the scale down to 1, you'll see that we get, so this is how many pixels is actually going to be in our game. Doesn't look like a lot, I know. And here's how big the window will actually be. Okay. Just thinking, do I want to stop here? We can, yeah, okay, so that's, no, in fact, let's continue. We'll just put some couple more things in. I want to move next time on to actually putting pixels on the screen, so I'll finish this up. So we're going to create a private, probably, private boolean called running. By default, this will be equal to false. When we stop, we're going to set running equal to false, and when we start, we're going to set running equal to true. So we're going to put in here while running. So this basically now means that when we hit the start button, it's going to go into this loop, but we need to actually call this run method. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a new thread, this dot start. Okay, so what this does is it instantiates a new object of the thread. It gives it this, saying we want to have this class as the thread, which we can do because this class implements runnable. and then we start the thread. So now somewhere in the start method for thread, it calls this run method, which is overriding the run method in Runnable. So basically, start is going to call this method, except it's going to be running on a thread, which makes it just easier for our system to process. And while we're here, I'm just going to set up two other functions, which we won't do anything in today. Public void render and public void tick. And we should actually probably make these private. Oops. Nah, what am I doing? Okay. And in here we'll put tick and render. So while the game is running, we're going to tick our game and render it. We'll go into more detail on that. But yeah, let's just run this now. And you'll see this is how far we've got. Nothing's changed, but since I've added those things. But yeah, next tutorial we'll get on to doing putting pixels on the screen. So it should be good. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.